Hello, viewers and listeners. Welcome back to the channel today. We are super excited to have you because we have a lot of information, a lot of insights for you that will help you and benefit you on your wellness journey. And in the studio today, I have an amazing, well-celebrated person. I will let her introduce herself.
Hello, viewers. My name is Dr. Victoria Katasi, a health and wellness expert and also a specialist treating children with brain and spine cancers and blood disorders. Welcome to this edition of Wellness.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the studio, Dr. Victoria. It's such an honor to have you. And with that being said, actually, fun fact, I work with Dr. Victoria on the communications and social media management. And with that being said, my name is Rachel Kanyana. So today we are going to talk about the 5 hidden habits for your healthiest life. Sounds interesting, right? So Dr. Victoria, I would love for you to share with us some of these habits.
Thank you very much, Rachel, for this invitation. I hope that you all stay tuned to this. So let's get right into it. The first habit we are going to talk about is mindfulness in your eating. And I would like to expound more on this habit. So I want to introduce to you a habit of keeping a food journal, okay? Because mindfulness is more than just eating slowly, okay? Eating consciously, but it's also about planning what you're going to eat even before you actually eat it. It means that you plan what you will shop, okay? You'll plan how you will cook the food that you're going to eat, and you plan the quantity of food that you'll eat at a go, because you're mindful of the quality, the fact that you're getting all the nutrients that you need. Okay, we are talking about the major food groups, the carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats, and the micronutrients, but you're also putting in mind the quantity, the fact that you eat what is sufficient for you to live. I'm sure you've heard the popular saying that we eat to live, not live to eat, okay? So mindfulness, keeping a food journal that on a daily basis, either early in the morning or the night before, you sit down and plan, what will I have for breakfast? What snack will I have in between? What will I have for lunch? What will I have, a snack in between? What will I have for dinner? And in that, make sure that at each meal that you've planned, it's balanced, okay? There's a carbohydrate, there's a protein, there's fat, there's micronutrients, but also the quantity. You're taking care of the calories you're taking in, because as you know, how much you take in will also determine, okay, what you actually look like in the long run. So if you eat in a calorie surplus, meaning that you're eating more than you need, you're going to put on excess weight. If you eat in a calorie deficit, meaning that you eat less than how active you are or less than what you burn, you're going to lose weight. If you eat what is enough, you're going to maintain. So mindfulness, keeping a food journal to help you be on top of this game of how to eat healthy, how to eat well-balanced foods, how to take care of what you're taking in.
That sounds really interesting, especially for a person like me who likes to keep a journal. I find that will allow me to be very organized. But how would you say, because food journal, this is a very new concept, I would say, especially in our community. How can one have access to this? How can I get a food journal?
So I have actually created some products, and one of those products includes a food journal. They are launching quite soon, so be on the lookout. And this is actually very easy to use. We put for you, set times. It has times like from when you wake up, maybe if you wake up at 5 or 6. So it has like times by the clock, okay? So 5, 6, 7, till you go to bed. And in there, you can actually come and fill in, okay, what have I had for breakfast? Then you can also come and fill in what you're going to have for lunch. You can fill in what you have for dinner. You can fill in the snack and what time you've actually eaten it, how much you've eaten it. So there's space for each of that. And at the end of the day, you're actually able to go and audit how much you have eaten, what you have eaten, was it sufficient, and then revise and see how can you improve the next day.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, there you have it, folks. The number one tip or the number one hidden habit to help you live your healthiest life is to be mindful, and that you can do by keeping a food journal. Dr. Victoria, do you have another point for us?
Okay, so the second habit that we are going to talk about is grounding or earthing. And I know that this may sound a bit strange for a lot of people, especially now in this high-paced world where we are used to running up and down. The grounding and the earthing that we are talking about is simple terms, meaning you finding some time to just walk barefoot in the grass, on the earth, okay, and have your feet, feel the warmth or the cold of the soil, walk in this meadow and appreciate the nature, what Mother Nature has given us. This is something that is not common, especially for us who live in the cities, and maybe your excuse may be where I live is all tarmac, okay? But you can find a few days, to take a walk in a forest, in nature, away from home, which can be part of you being mindful, and you taking care of yourself as self-care. And practice this habit, okay? It helps to, first of all, reduce inflammation. It helps to boost your immunity, but also reduce stress for you as a person. So it's a habit that I think would be worth trying.
This is a very interesting habit, especially coming from an expert, to be honest. Now that you talked about people living in the city, having tarmac, maybe compounds and all that, I remember back in the day, like our parents used to not allow us to step in the dirt because you're like, oh, you're going to be dirty and all that stuff. That is the perception we would have around it. But now the fact that it's being recommended by an expert, I think it's really an interesting one. Guys, if you're able to try this out, let us know in the comment section below how you feel about it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Dr. Victoria. Do you have another point for us, please?
Yeah, so the third habit that I want us to delve into today is nostril breathing. And coming from a doctor and an expert, we may think that it's obvious. We breathe through the nose. I mean, basically, that is how human physiology should be, right? But have you ever, listened to yourself or observed yourself, like maybe if you're during a busy workout or you're walking up the stairs or, you're running, you realize that a lot of times you actually start doing mouth breathing. At least I know that when I'm carrying weights, when I'm lifting weights, when I'm working out, I breathe a lot through my mouth, like consciously. I think there's a way it helps you to kind of relax and pace yourself, However, I want us to now consciously start breathing through the nose, okay? Taking some deep breaths in and out of the nose. So these breathing techniques have actually been shown to, one, be ways of you actually reducing stress, but also they help you to become a bit more calm, reduce anxiety levels. And this can help you to be more focused at work, work with intensity, be more creative, but also improve your sleep. So maybe one thing that we are all going to try, and this may sound silly, one of these days I would like us to try is, try to close your mouth, okay? Maybe put a bit of tape on your mouth and then just consciously breathe through your nose, in and out, in and out. See how it goes. Let us know.
Yeah, that is really interesting. I would love to try that. I've actually seen a short video on one of the social media platform. Now what the girls are doing, it's more like a trend. They put that body tape on their mouth and then they go to sleep with their mouth taped. I think that will allow them breathe through their nose. Now that, coming from an expert, it just confirms it, because at first I thought, okay, this looks a bit weird, but coming from you now, it makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for sharing, dear viewers and listeners. So by now you have it, the hidden habits that can help you live a healthier life. The first point that Dr. Victoria has shared with us is mindfulness, or having a food journal, tracking your meals and all that. Then the second point is earthing, which was another interesting one. And then the third one, she has recommended deep nostril breathing. All right. So let's see the fourth one, Dr. Victoria.
Okay, so the fourth habit that we are going to talk about is, cold hot contrast therapy. I'm sure you have, or if you haven't yet, there's this trend that is going on about people using ice baths, okay? And me being a gym girl, there's a lot of this hype in the gym or weightlifting community, both online and offline. And people have gone as far as actually buying actual ice baths, or other modifications, and taking this back home. And, they actually get their ice and do ice baths for maybe 15 to 10 minutes. I don't know if you've tried something like that, However, for somebody who is not able to afford to actually buy your own ice bath, or you don't have a bathtub at home, there is an easier way to do it. So if you have a shower, you're able to regulate hot and cold water. What I would like you to try is this contrast, okay? You begin your shower with a bit of maybe hot water. Take a few minutes, maybe the first 5 minutes. Then switch to cold water or like the next maybe 5 minutes, okay? Then switch to some hot water or warm water and then some cold water. So that by the time you finished your shower, you have contrasted, the temperature of the water throughout. This is good, first of all, because one, you changing the temperature now from hot to cold, especially having a cold shower, builds resilience for you as a person. And so it's one of those things that you can do to build your discipline. And this discipline, remember, cuts across in all other areas. You build discipline in one area, it overflows into the other areas, okay? But also it's good for your system as well. It kind of activates your immune system, wakes you up as a person, keeps you alert. So this is something that we all can try for sure if you have a shower at home.
Talk about discipline. I love this. I think this would be nice if we make it like a challenge, and then we challenge all our followers on Instagram and across all the other platforms to see who would try it out. It would be nice as a person who struggles to, maintain or to build discipline in certain areas. Really, I feel like this would be a great push, right? Okay, thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Victoria. Our last point, please.
So the fifth habit that I want us to talk about today is light exposure. But this has to be strategic. For sure, you all realize that on a day when it is bright, when you wake up and the sun is up, you feel more energetic. There's this level of vitality that you have when the day is bright, when the sun is out, For me personally, when I work out, on days that the sun is up, in fact, I wake up excited to work out. I open all the doors, all the windows in my house, and the workout just flows. Vis-a-vis days when it's really cold, it is raining, I kind of drag myself out of bed, okay, to do, all my workouts and everything. So the strategic light exposure, okay, this could be early morning sun or the sun late in the evening, okay. Find a bit of time for you to expose yourself to the sun. Take a walk somewhere in this sun, not the very hot sun, like late in the afternoon, but we said like maybe an early morning, late evening, okay? Because this is good for you actually. It's important, even health-wise, for you to build, like your vitamin D. But also it kind of keeps you active, okay? It keeps you creative, okay? It's a nice habit to try out for sure.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. It's interesting that you're saying that because most of the time we are trying as much as possible to stay out of the sun. But I strongly agree with that. Really, we all need our vitamin D in, and you can have that sun exposure with maybe put on your SPF if you're really afraid of to get a sunburn or something like that. But it's an interesting habit to share. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you see that to me, these look like very tiny habits or habits that we could easily ignore because they don't seem to be that, when we're embarking on our wellness journey, we are all focused on the workout, on the meals, but these are very tiny habits, but actually have a very big impact onto our wellness journey or in our well-being. Thank you so much for sharing, Dr. Victoria. Do you have any other remarks for our followers or listeners before we close?
So, and maybe just to say to our followers that it's never too late to start to incorporate new habits into your life, okay? So don't feel scared. Don't think you're too old to try a few things, like the tapping your mouth at night to breathe through with the nose or to walk barefoot, okay? Don't mind about people saying that you look strange doing some of these things. It's all about you. It's all about you feeling good, being healthier, because what we want is optimum wellness. So try this out and see how it goes.
Thank you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, I invite you to hit the like button if this has been really helpful to you, but also don't forget to share it with your loved ones because very insightful information. We all need to be healthy. We all need to improve our well-being, and these tips, you need them. So don't forget to share it with your folks. But also I invite you to check out our website. The link will be in the description box below. We have plenty of resources that could be helpful to you, and more so many of these resources are free, so you have no excuse. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.